I was a crazed simp for Isabella, the school's campus queen. She had a secondary credit card I gave her, carried the limited edition designer bags I bought, and dressed head to toe in luxury couture. She became the envy of everyone, a spoiled rich girl straight out of a fairy tale. After graduation, I arranged a job for her at my father's company. In return, she stole confidential bid documents and sold them at a high price to our rivals. The day the company went bankrupt, Isabella started a live stream, crying as she accused my dad of sexually harassing her for years. In utter despair, my father jumped off the top of the company building. When I rushed to identify the body, I was dragged into an alley by some thugs and beaten to death. Dozens of broken bones, not a single piece of me left whole. Meanwhile, she bravely exposed her perverted boss without fear, earning the world's praise as a noble, untainted heroine. Fortunately, heaven gave me another chance. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day of Isabella's birthday. She was standing in the middle of the classroom, smiling brightly. "Today's my birthday. Come party at my family's poolside villa. 3 days and 3 nights of fun." Everyone cheered with excitement. I pulled out my phone and instantly froze the secondary credit card in her hand. At the same time, I messaged the butler, "Don't let even a fly into the house today." Chapter 1. Isabella. You're seriously the nicest, pretty and kind. It's totally you. I've never been to a pool villa in my life. Finally get to see one today. Pretty face, top grades, lives in a mansion. She's a walking rich girl fantasy. Obviously that poolside villa is one of Vic's family estates. The moment Isabella said she was throwing a party at her family's pool villa, the whole class exploded with excitement. And there she was, dressed in a brand new pastel pink Chanel-inspired set, sweet and elegant. She really looked like a little princess raised with nothing but love. I couldn't help but scoff coldly in the sea of compliments. The sound was jarringly out of place. Isabella turned and looked at me. "Kenji, the homeroom teacher just said we need to collect personal info from everyone in class today. You're always so meticulous, so maybe you should skip my birthday party." I stayed silent, still struggling to process the fact that I had been reborn. In my last life, I first met Isabella at a ceremony where my dad was funding scholarships for underprivileged students. She was wearing a patched-up, ill-fitting outfit with frayed sleeves that had been washed too many times, head down, timid, standing at the very end of the line, totally unremarkable. I had heard her story from my dad, heartbreaking stuff. Her father had died after falling from a high place while working. Her mother, obsessed with favoring boys, treated her like a servant. After her father's death, Isabella had to cook, clean, and wash clothes for the entire family while still in elementary school. If she slipped up even slightly, her mom would curse her out or even beat her. And now, to scrape together tuition for her younger brother, who couldn't even pass his middle school entrance exams, her mom was ready to sell her off to some 60-year-old men in the mountains. My dad, kind-hearted as he was, paid for all of Isabella's tuition and even hired her mom as our family's housemaid. The moment I saw her, something in me snapped. I was overwhelmed by the urge to protect her. From then on, I pursued her like a madman, blinded by love. I gave her my secondary credit card and told her to use it freely. High-end clothes, limited edition handbags. She even hinted at wanting something. I'd have it in her hands the next day. There were plenty of guys at school who chased her, but I was the most extreme. My simp behavior made me hated by the other guys. They isolated me, believed me, treated me like trash, but I didn't care. Isabella held my card, wore my designer outfits, and flaunted handbags worth hundreds of thousands. She became the school's ultimate campus goddess, the fantasy rich girl everyone adored. I thought my devotion would touch her heart, that she'd fall for me in the end. But in the end, I was nothing more than a stepping stone for her to climb higher. Chapter 2. On the surface, she looked gentle and sweet, but in reality, her toxic upbringing had left her with severe, delusional paranoia. She shamelessly enjoyed my bathing, yet resented the fact that I never had to lift a finger to live in luxury. She even used me to steal confidential bid documents, causing my father's company to break its financial chain. The day the company declared bankruptcy, she went live on social media, sobbing about how my father had sexually harassed her for years. My dad couldn't defend himself. The shame was too much. He jumped off the company building, dead on impact. On the way to identify his body, I was dragged into an alley and beaten to death by gangsters. Dozens of fractures, not a single inch of my body left intact. Before I lost consciousness, I heard one of them making a phone call. "Hey sis, relax, he's dead. From now on, this sucker's company is ours." I knew that voice. It was Isabella's younger brother. Seeing that I still didn't react, our class rep, Mateo, couldn't take it anymore. He stormed up to me. "Didn't you hear what Isabella said? She's giving you a chance to collect everyone's info. Don't act like you're too good for it." Mateo was another hardcore simp for Isabella, on par with how I used to be. When the others saw I still didn't speak up, they joined in. "Seriously, everyone knows you've been simpering for our queen Isabella since freshman year." Kenji was relentless. His love letters could fill an entire drawer. Someone even pulled out one of my old letters and read it aloud in a mocking voice. "And so I walked 99 steps toward you, following the voice of my heart. Countless times in the moment I loved you most, I gave myself to you." He read it in a greasy, over-the-top tone, full of fake sentiment. "Queen Isabella, you must not bring Kenji, the hillbilly, with you. What if he totally misreads the situation and confesses during your birthday party?" Exactly. Look at that clingy, loser vibe. He's definitely capable of doing something like that. He'll probably pull out another love letter and read it in front of everyone. God, I'm already cringing so hard my toes are curling. Well, since everyone feels that way, I guess I won't be inviting Kenji to my birthday party this year. Isabella's eyes sparkled as if she'd made a huge decision. Everyone burst out laughing, their ridicule echoing through the room. She turned to me. "Sorry, Kenji, it's what the group wants. I can't help it." Watching her put on that classic innocent act routine, I chuckled coldly. "Well, since I'm not invited, I won't go. Just a reminder, though, that poolside villa may be nice, but it's not your house. Don't mess up with that." I walked straight out of the classroom. Behind me, a wave of mocking comments followed. "There's no way Queen Isabella would throw a party at someone else's pool. This guy must be nuts. Yeah, look at him, total broke loser." Once I stepped out of the school building, I called the bank and had Isabella's unlimited secondary card canceled on the spot. Then I called the butler and told him, "Not even a fly gets through the gates of the poolside villa today. This simp, I'm done playing that role. Without me, I'm dying to see how you're going to keep up your little rich girl act now." Chapter 3. I looked up at the moon in the sky, and for the first time, the weight in my chest lifted. Thank God for giving me another chance. This time, I won't let myself be blinded by love. I'll make that fake, two-faced woman pay the price she deserves. Judging by the time, I headed toward the school gate. I hadn't even reached it when I saw 10 luxury vans parked in a straight line, an extravagant display. Isabella stood there looking elegant while Mateo buzzed around helping classmates get into the vans, grinning like he owned the place. "Kenji, why are you here again?" A sharp-eyed classmate spotted me and shouted. "Yeah, weren't you told to stay and organize everyone's info?" There was a hint of annoyance in Isabella's tone. I answered flatly, "Just going home for dinner. Didn't realize that was a crime." Isabella hadn't responded yet, but her pack of simps already started barking. "If you want to crash the party, just say it. No need for such a lame excuse. I'm cringing for you." Isabella gave a mocking smile, but still kept up her fake virtue act. "We're all classmates. Let's not be like this. It's understandable if Kenji wants to join in." One of the simps sneered. "Isabella, you're too kind. Guys like Kenji, shameless as he is, are capable of anything." Everyone laughed, and Isabella's lips curled slightly, though she kept wearing that hypocritical expression. "We shouldn't judge people with bias," she said, pretending to take the high road. Watching her act like that, I couldn't help it. I let out a laugh. My scornful attitude infuriated Mateo. He rushed at me and punched me right in the face. Caught off guard, I didn't even have time to dodge. Just as I was about to strike back, I noticed a familiar car slowing to a stop near the street corner. A smirk crept across my face. "Isabella, aren't you going to say something?" Her eyes were filled with disdain, yet she forced out a smile that looked sincere on the surface. "You really are out of line. You're holding everyone up, but nobody here is petty. Just apologize, and we'll let it go." Everyone glared at me, waiting for me to beg for forgiveness. I just found it laughable. Shaking my head, I pushed through the crowd and walked straight up to the car. I knocked on the driver's window. "No one's leaving today, get out." My voice was cold, commanding. The driver looked at me like I was insane. "Who the hell are you?" Just then, Isabella stormed over, face twisted in frustration as if I were some lunatic. Don't push your luck. If you wanted a ride, I'd usually let you take the car, but today we actually need it. But those 10 vans, they were a birthday gift from my dad when I turned 18. And yet here we are. When the tiger stays quiet, the monkeys think they run the mountain. Can't even recognize the real owner. Wanna flex? Then I'll make sure to slap your face with reality. I raised my hand and waved. From not far away, a middle-aged man walked toward us. Isabella followed my gaze, and her face turned ghostly pale. Kenji. Her voice trembled barely above a whisper, with a hint of pleading. But that wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't help her again. In fact, I wanted to see her humiliated. Chapter 4. The men came closer, finally stopping in front of me. Then gave me a deep, respectful bow. Seeing the butler's attitude toward me, the driver, who just seconds ago had looked at me like I was trash, stumbled out of the van in a panic. Isabella had lost all composure. She rushed to my side, practically shrieking. Kenji, what are you doing? Why did you call Hiroshi over? Are you trying to embarrass me in front of everyone? What? Do you want to come to my birthday party that badly? Fine, I'll let you in, just send Hiroshi away. I didn't say a word. I just stared at her. She kept trying to look pitiful, but sorry, that trick doesn't work on me anymore. When I stayed silent, she turned to Hiroshi with a trembling voice, barely audible. Hiroshi, please, just this once, can we borrow the vans? I swear it won't happen again. Hiroshi didn't even glance at her. He just ordered the drivers to unload all the classmates who'd already gotten in. One by one, they were forced out, standing there dumbfounded. Isabella struggled to act calm, but sweat was already forming on her forehead. Before leaving, Hiroshi turned to her and said, If I'm not mistaken, I'm Kenji's butler, not yours, Miss Isabella. His voice wasn't loud, but everyone there heard it crystal clear. The way everyone looked at Isabella shifted. There was a flicker of suspicion in their eyes. Her already embarrassed face flushed a deep red. Mateo quickly stepped in to smooth things over. Isabella, your family's just too soft on the help. That's why they think they can walk all over you. Only then did the probing glances fade, and everyone began to chime in agreement. Isabella's expression eased up a bit. She forced a laugh. Who knows what kind of crazy mood Kenji and the driver were in today? Honestly, if we hadn't taken pity on them back then, we never would have let them stay. I'll have my mom fire them both as soon as we get home. Guys, let's just take taxis to the villa instead. Luxury cars all around, my treat. The awkward tension from earlier instantly broke, and the energy reignited. Outside the school gate, groups of students flagged down cabs, loud and excited. No one paid any attention to me as I got into the Rolls-Royce parked quietly at the corner of the alley. Back at the villa, just as I was about to step inside, Isabella's mother, Carmen, stood in my way and started shrieking at me. What the hell is wrong with you today? Her voice was shrill and piercing, and her attitude couldn't have been worse. In my last life, because I was in love with Isabella, I treated her mom like she was my future mother-in-law, bending over backwards to please her. And she took full advantage of that. Not only did she show me zero respect, she acted like a tyrant in the house, lording over everything just because I had feelings for her daughter. But this time, sorry, I don't like your daughter anymore. So if you keep trying to pull your crap, don't blame me for showing no mercy. That thought simmered quietly in my mind, but Carmen clearly couldn't read the room. She kept squawking like a broken alarm. How dare you come back here after embarrassing Isabella like that in public today? What were you thinking? I'm warning you, if you keep acting like this, Isabella won't marry you. I said nothing, and she assumed I was feeling guilty. Her arrogance only grew. Don't forget, it was you who begged to marry my daughter. So what if Isabella used a few of your cars? She was just giving you some dignity. Clearly Isabella had already run home and ratted me out. I'd only just arrived and her mother was already throwing accusations at my head. Most likely, Isabella was feeling uneasy about how I'd acted earlier. She was afraid I wasn't simply for her anymore, afraid she could no longer live off my money and keep playing the spoiled rich girl role in front of her classmates. So she probably told her mom to handle me first, put me in my place. After all, I used to treat her mom like royalty, more respectfully than even my own dad. I chuckled inwardly. What a strategic move. Too bad I've been reborn. You want to play the role of my mother-in-law? Better check if you're even worthy of the part. I finally opened my mouth, my tone calm but cutting. You're just the housekeeper in my family. Are you sure you want to act this high and mighty? Chapter 5. As soon as the words left my mouth, Carmen's eyes widened in disbelief. You've got some nerve, don't you? You dare talk to me like that? I'll make Isabella dump you. Then out of nowhere, she collapsed onto the ground, wailing and slapping her thighs like a possessed banshee. Oh, poor Isabella. If she really marries into your family, who knows how badly she'll be abused. Just because we're poor mother-daughter pair with no one to rely on, is there no justice left in the world? She howled so loud the entire villa district could hear her. With all her screeching and sobbing, people passing by started pointing fingers at me, whispering behind my back. Hiroshi's face was burning with fury. He looked like he was about to charge at her. I shot him a glance. Don't move. I've got this. Carmen screamed until her voice was hoarse, only to realize I hadn't responded at all. In fact, I was lounging calmly on a bench by the road, as if watching a show. Her face turned red, then green with rage. Then suddenly she lunged at me, still yelling. She shrieked, "You go apologize to Isabella right now and wire me $1,000,000 yuan. If not, there's no way I'll let her marry you." I dodged easily. Just as she charged at me again, the police arrived, followed closely by my panting old man. The moment Carmen started her tantrum, I'd already messaged my dad and told him to call the cops. Fire Carmen? Please, that's too kind. From the start, my goal was never just to get her fired. It was to get her daughter thrown in jail. After filing the police report, I returned home. That's when I got a message from Isabella. Kenji, go to the bank right now and find out why my card isn't working. I need to pay for the taxi. Fix it in 3 minutes, or else. Even through the screen, I could practically see her giving orders with that usual entitled expression on her face. I muted my phone and tossed it aside, not worth a second thought. This was just the appetizer. The main course was still coming. An hour later, my dad walked in, grinning, and handed me a live feed from the villa security cams. There was a massive group of people standing outside the gates, dragging suitcases and bags of all sizes. A squad of security guards was blocking them right at the front of the crowd. Isabella, she no longer looked composed or elegant. Her hair was a mess. She was waving her arms, phone in hand, desperately trying to negotiate with the guards. She looked like a total clown. I glanced at my muted phone. Just as expected, dozens of unread messages and missed calls. Isabella was still calling non-stop, refusing to give up. I sneered. Well, since you're so eager for me to show up, I might as well drop by. She thought I was coming to open the gate for her, but the moment I arrived, the security guard straightened up and bowed respectfully. Young master, are these people your guests? Everyone stared at me in shock. I let out a cold snort. Nope, throw them all out. And with that, I turned and walked into the poolside villa right in front of everyone's stunned faces. Chapter 6. The next day, I walked into the classroom full of energy and confidence. Dozens of hostile glares hit me all at once, like they were ready to tear me limb from limb. I couldn't help but laugh. Well, now, didn't Queen Isabella promise you guys a 3-day, 3-night poolside villa bash? Why are you back so soon? The sarcasm in my voice lit the fuse instantly. Kenji, you went way too far. Even if Isabella messed up the address, that villa is your house. You shouldn't have treated us like that. Seriously, Petty Much, you've got zero class. And why'd you swap out Isabella's card? We had to take a coach bus back overnight because of you. You better pay us back for those cab fares. No wonder they all looked so drained. Turns out since they couldn't get into the villa, they had to ride the bus home in the middle of the night. Judging by their complaints, the cab fares were split AA style. Looks like Isabella's wallet was empty the moment I unlinked that secondary card. So much for the spoiled rich girl act. It's cracking fast. But what I really couldn't figure out was why people were still falling for her nonsense at this point. Before I could even speak, another classmate pointed at me. Isabella didn't invite you. I get that you're mad, but you seriously crossed the line. You owe us all an apology. Class Rep Mateo stepped in, looking exhausted. Isabella is patient and tolerant, but we can't let you keep acting like this. You need to return Isabella's card and apologize to everyone. If not, I'll report you to the school for disciplinary action. His words set the room ablaze. Yeah, time to teach Kenji a lesson. This is like the scorpion and the frog. Isabella took in him and his dad, and this is how he repays her kindness. The crowd got more fired up by the second. Mateo even cracked his knuckles, like he was ready to throw another punch. Finally, Isabella spoke up. Ahem, whatever else. Kenji is our classmate. Violence isn't the answer. And besides, my dad's always had a kind heart. He'd never fire someone and leave them homeless. She stood up from her seat, like some benevolent goddess descending from the heavens. Mateo froze mid-swing, hearing her say that. He gave me a vicious glare and reluctantly lowered his hand. A truly obedient little simp. No wonder she kept him around. His face was full of resentment. You're way too nice. Guys like him don't deserve mercy. Kenji needs to be dealt with. Special cases require special measures. Exactly. Your family might be kind, but he's not grateful in the slightest. Everyone murmured in agreement as Isabella put on a pained expression. Mateo suddenly perked up. Actually, this is perfect. Your dad's coming to school this afternoon for the new building's donation ceremony. Let's expose Kenji in front of him. He turned and shot me a smug, pitying look. But Isabella instantly panicked. Wait, there's really no need for that. My dad keeps work and personal matters separate. He's only here for official business. I don't want to distract him with all this. Unfortunately, her pale face and hesitation went unnoticed. The classmates, caught up in the excitement, eagerly agreed. Isabella, Mateo has a point. You can't keep letting people walk all over you. Exactly. Don't let this freeloader climb on the master's head again. We'll all testify for you. Your dad will definitely see Kenji's true colors. Isabella's face turned even paler. She mumbled her agreement, clearly flustered. And me, I was silently grinning. Now this was going to be fun to watch. Chapter 7. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was held that afternoon in the school auditorium. As soon as I walked in, I spotted my dad on stage. He smiled and gave me a nod. My classmates were all huddled together, clearly plotting to confront him right after the ceremony to tell him how I'd supposedly bullied his precious daughter. No one noticed when Isabella quietly slipped over to my side, whispering, Kenji, go talk to your dad. Make him acknowledge me as his daughter. If you can pull this off, then I might be willing to agree to be with you. She was the one begging, but the way she said it made it sound like she was bestowing me a favor. I gave her a side eye and muttered, You're insane. Then turned away and found myself a seat. Seeing that I didn't agree, Isabella grew anxious and looked like she wanted to say more, but one of the school staff waved her over. It was time for her to take her seat. The school clearly placed a lot of importance on Isabella's identity. They gave her a seat in the front row and even scheduled her to give a speech on stage with my dad at the end. As the donation ceremony began, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. One message after another from Isabella. Time's running out. Don't be ungrateful. Final warning, text your dad now. If you don't help me this time, I swear I'll never be with you. Think carefully about the consequences. When I didn't reply, her arrogance quickly shifted into desperation. Kenji, I'm begging you. Just this once. I can't lose face in front of everyone. You wouldn't want your girlfriend to be humiliated, would you? Please, Kenji, just help me. I sneered, and without hesitation blocked her number. Then came the announcement. Let's welcome Mr. Tan's daughter to the stage for her speech. It was finally time. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience. Isabella had no choice but to head up to the stage, her nerves barely held together. She didn't dare look my dad in the eyes. Head down, she pulled out her speech and began reading. As she read on, she noticed something. My dad didn't stop her. In fact, he was even smiling. She glanced my way, eyes filled with smug satisfaction. Clearly, she thought I'd given in and prepped my dad in advance. After finishing her speech, Isabella beamed as she handed the mic to my father. All of her earlier nerves were gone now. She stood tall and proud, like some royal princess basking in glory. And then my dad took the microphone, turned to the crowd, and said with a calm, That's odd. I wasn't aware I had a daughter. I only have one beloved son, Kenji, who's sitting right there in the audience. The young lady just now? She's the daughter of my former housekeeper. Emphasis on former. She was arrested for assault and taken in by the police just recently. He said it casually, like he was discussing the weather, yet every word left the audience in shock. Following the direction of his hand, all eyes turned to me. What? Isabella's just the maid's daughter? This is insane. She's been pretending to be rich this whole time. No wonder she couldn't even afford a taxi yesterday and made us all ride the bus back. So Kenji is the real rich second gen? Wow. Talk about not judging a book by its cover. Chapter 8. The whole auditorium was buzzing. Everyone's eyes were locked on me and Isabella. I curled my lips into a smirk. This wasn't enough. Right then, the auditorium doors burst open. More than a dozen police officers charged in. Isabella, you are under investigation for credit card fraud involving a sum of 10 million yuan. You need to come with us immediately. 10 million. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I let out a bitter laugh. How foolish I'd been, wasting that much money on a woman like her. Just as the police were about to take her away, Isabella broke free and flung herself at my feet, grabbing onto the hem of my pants. She cried out, "Kinji, didn't you say you loved me? Help me, please. Tell them it was all a gift from you. Say it was voluntary." Her hair was a mess, sweat dripping from her forehead, completely disheveled. Where was the cold, classy, spoiled rich girl now? Then again, maybe this was who she had always been. That glamorous image had been my illusion, the mask I'd built for her. I lifted my foot in disgust and stepped right over her. Later, the court sentenced Isabella to repay the full amount within 1 year. Sometime after that, I ran into her in front of my office building. She was still wearing her favorite Chanel-style outfit, but now it was wrinkled and the collar had faded and frayed, clearly washed too many times. No more secondary card, no more high life. Clearly things weren't going well for her. The moment she saw me, Isabella plastered on a smile and rushed over. "Kinji, what's wrong with you? It's been so long. Aren't you afraid I'll get mad?" Arms crossed, I stared at her blankly, hiding my disdain behind a calm expression. Seeing I didn't respond, she took another step forward and for the first time, held my hand. "Look, we're holding hands now. That means we're together. I know you're still mad about the birthday party, right? I'm sorry, okay? But now that we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we're in the closest relationship there is, so there's no need for me to repay that money, right? Just tell the cops it's settled. And also, could you reactivate my card? I haven't had new clothes to wear in forever." She tilted her chin proudly, looking down on me like she was granting me a royal favor. Her soft, fair hand rested in mine, a scene that in my past life would have made me grin like an idiot in my sleep. But now it just made my skin crawl. Without a flicker of hesitation, I shook her off. Isabella froze, stunned. "Kinji, what's that supposed to mean? You don't want to be with me? If you kneel down and apologize right now, I might forgive you this once. If not, don't even dream of being with me again." Every time she'd said something like that before, I would cave instantly. This time, she thought the same trick would work. "But sorry, I've got a new girlfriend now, and a manipulative, venom-filled woman like you. You don't deserve to be with me." Right on cue, Freya walked over, flowing curls, stunning curves, every head turned. Isabella watched, stunned, as I wrapped my arm proudly around Freya's waist. "My girlfriend, Freya, only daughter of the Mu group. She's prettier than you, has a better body, gentler heart, higher education, and most importantly, way more money." Chapter 9. Isabella looked like she'd just been slapped. Her delicate fingers trembled. She couldn't seem to process any of it. This can't be real. You're just doing this to make me jealous. She's just a hired actress, right?" Her voice was full of disbelief and desperation. "You did all this to get my attention, didn't you? That's what this is. You're supposed to love me." She grew more hysterical by the second, finally trying to slap me. I shielded Freya instinctively. The security guards moved fast, hauling Isabella up and tossing her out of the building. But I never expected how far she would go next. She started a live stream, trying to stir up public outrage, turn the internet against me. On camera, she wore carefully smeared, broken doll makeup to look pitiful. She cried on stream like a tragic heroine, tears falling like raindrops. She called me heartless, a traitor who abandoned her without a second thought. She said, "I know I'm not as rich as the Mu Group's princess, but I truly loved him. Is love worth nothing in the face of money?" I refused to believe it. "Everything you ever wanted, we could have had it. If only you'd waited a little longer, Kinji. I was so good to you. Don't you have a heart?" Within an hour, her stream hit 5 million live viewers. The comment section exploded. How could anyone dump a girl this beautiful? What's wrong with this world? Trash men deserve to die. The entire internet sided with her, flaming me so hard even my own mom might not recognize me. The backlash snowballed. Even my engagement to Freya got dragged into it. Everyone was waiting to see me crash and burn. I turned straight to the legal team and had them send Isabella a cease and desist. She had 1 year to repay the 10 million. It's been more than half a year. Not a cent has come back. You messed with the wrong guy. You kicked a wall of solid steel. Right after we sent the letter, Isabella called. You think some warning letter can scare me? Enjoy getting mobbed online. You brought this on yourself. But if you cancel the debt and give me another card, I'll forgive you. One last chance. I hung up on her without a word. Absolutely insane. Chapter 10. I knew she couldn't pay back that 10 million. She'd been spoiled by a life of handouts for too long enough to lose any ability to earn for herself. Now her entire brain was wired for shortcuts and scams. And let's not forget, she had a mom and a little brother at home who only knew how to ask her for money. I figured she might try something dirty, but when I saw Isabella's face appear on the company surveillance footage again after so long, I didn't expect her to pull the exact same stunt. She used the same scam she did in my previous life. Back then, she had access to court documents as an executive. This time, she had to sneak in disguised as a janitor. Too bad I wasn't stupid anymore. I'd already installed high-definition cameras in every corner of the company, no blind spots, no leaks, and I'd replaced all the real tender documents with fakes ahead of time. Since you love stealing so much, I'll let you steal to your heart's content. But let's see if you're ready for them. Just as she was rummaging through the office, the police burst in again and slapped the cuffs on her wrists. After that, I made the truth public. The company remained completely unaffected, but Isabella spiraled. The next time I saw her, I almost didn't recognize her. In just a few months, she'd aged far beyond a college graduate. Heavy makeup, tight bodycon dress, gaudy gold jewelry. She looked like a tacky nouveau riche cliché. Her bright red fingernails clutched a bank card, which she slammed onto my desk. It's just 10 million. Right here, take it. Consider it a gift from me. I'm doing just fine without you. Even if you got down on your knees and begged me now, I wouldn't give you another glance. Without waiting for a reply, she lifted her chin arrogantly and stormed out. Later, my private investigator filled me in. Apparently, Isabella was cozying up to Mr. Chan of the TF group. She'd moved into his penthouse apartment, going in and out with him like a couple. I knew Chan, sure. He had some money, but he was pushing 60, old enough to be Isabella's father. Pot-bellied, greasy-looking, and downright creepy. Rumor had it he tried to grope every pretty young employee he came across. And Isabella, she was really willing to sell herself for money. What she didn't know was that Mr. Chan was actually a live-in son-in-law. His wife was notorious in our social circle, a vicious, dominating tiger of a woman. The day my investigator messaged me again, I was out doing site visits for a new company project. He said Isabella was dead. Chapter 11. She and Mr. Chan were in the middle of one of their sessions when the real wife caught them red-handed. Both of them, half-naked, fully exposed in front of everyone. Chan pushed all the blame onto Isabella, claiming it was all her doing, that she seduced him and he just momentarily lost control of his moral compass. Isabella got beaten badly, dozens of broken bones, not a single patch of her body untouched. The wife gave strict orders, no medical help allowed. She even gave Isabella's family a payout for their silence. Her mother, she smiled while signing the form to give up her daughter's right to be saved. Within 2 days, Isabella was dead. No proper funeral, no headstone, just gone. After hanging up the call, I sat in silence for a moment, feeling complicated. After all, we'd lived 2 intertwined lives. She had been a significant chapter in mine. But fake is fake, and in the end, whether she lived or died, I really didn't care anymore.